Live from Studio 8, this is The More You Know.
Hello everyone, we are here on another segment of The More You Know. Today's topic is quite interesting, don't you think so, Julia?
It is indeed interesting, JM. We will be talking about media literacy, and I know that the viewers will be quite engaged, especially the millennials, because considering that we all use social media accounts.
Without further ado, let us welcome our special guests for today. These two are media practitioners who are currently conducting research on different media forms. Let's give a hand for Michael Ogtam and Jairus Gala.
Good day to you, Michael and Jairus. Welcome to our show. Thank you for coming here today.
Thank you for having us. We are pleased to share information and answer our viewers' questions.
Let's have a seat, please. Thank you.
Okay, so let's begin. Can you give us an opener about media literacy?
In media literacy, you always have these 5 questions. Number 1, who created the message? And number 2, what techniques were used to attract my attention? Number 3, what variation in meaning does this message have? Number 4, what values, lifestyles, and points of view are shown or omitted from the message? And lastly, why is the message being sent?
So, these 5 questions serve as your key to understanding media literacy. These questions are in accordance to media's core concepts. One of these concepts that media messages are constructed. Someone made this message and that person used techniques, which is another concept, to allow this message to reach you. In line with this, the third concept tells us that since this message is widespread in different places, perhaps people will have varying versions or understanding of what the message entails. This then leads to the fourth concept, which states that values are embedded on media messages, which is why touching a certain issue or omitting some points of view can play a role in how your receivers understand the message. Despite varying understandings on the media message, the constructor of the message has his or her own goal as to why he or she created the message, perhaps to spread awareness or gain profit or power.
Wow, one question in and we are all already filled with information. What more if there's another question, right? So, what are the elements involved in media literacy?
First off, we have the awareness of the impact of social media to the people. Media has the ability to sway people into believing or opposing a certain side, which is why media literacy matters so much. If people get the wrong idea or led to believe a piece of information that is untrue, it could potentially hinder possible developments in the country or perhaps cause unnecessary commotions.
Media practitioners also carry ethical responsibilities alongside their role in the media world. It is our responsibility to ensure that we get both sides of an issue, that we are not biased towards a specific party, nor do we allow our personal opinions get in the way. Media people should see media messages as an objective type information rather than subjective.
Media literacy also aims to ignite critical thinking. We want the receivers of our message to think and analyze media messages independently. It's best if they work on gathering information in order to confirm whether the things they see are true or not. We want them to generate a stand based on their own judgment and not because of what the majority thinks.
Lastly, media literacy involves having an understanding that media content is meant to provide insights into our culture and to ourselves as well. Through this, we are aware of changes happening around us and how we calibrate ourselves in accordance with these changes.
The answers are totally great and a lot of information flows.
On the next segment, our guests will answer queries from our subscribers online. That is when we return after the short break. And we are back once again. This is
The More You Know! Our guests are now ready to answer questions from our online viewers.
We have selected the few online members who have sent their video together with their questions to our guests. And here's the first one. Roll video.
Hello, The More You Know. I'm Steve Dalisay from Dagupan City, an avid fan of your show. I would just like to ask how we can combat media literacy, especially with the rise of fake news in the country. I hope this will be answered. Thank you so much.
To answer your question, I think that there is a need for proper education on the media world, as well as the provision of accessible materials such as news and books, which can aid people in verifying the information that they see or hear.
Oh yeah, I agree. Nowadays, people don't read books or newspapers anymore. They just tend to rely on the internet to read the news. But nowadays, it's the fake news that is the trend, right?
Yes, and that is why books and other printed materials are outdated nowadays and internet came along.
Another question from an anonymous subscriber. Roll video.
Hi, The More You Know. I really like watching your show because I learn a lot of stuff from it. I am Luchan from Metro Manila, and I would just like to ask if it is possible to eradicate the problems caused by social media. I hope that you can answer this question. Thank you and more power to your show.
So like what Mr. Galang said, there should be proper education and accessibility of materials to achieve such. However, I do not think that it is possible to accomplish that now. The fight to shape media literate people still has a long way to go, since there are places, especially in the rural areas, which are hard to reach.
That's why location really matters.
Yeah, location does really matter, for this is all about transporting information, and location are important to do so.
Ooh, seems like information is really piling up in our studio. To add more of those, another question is to be heard. Roll video.
Hi, I'm Ronald and from Video. Good day, The More You Know. My question is, how does media literacy benefit the country?
To simply answer your question, media literacy creates an informed society, one that is aware of what needs to be done to address certain issues in the country.
So in addition to that, media literacy allows individuals to make informed decisions, which in turn affect our country develops.
Oh, that's why it is really important for us to think thoroughly for our actions and decisions. Just like what we always hear, think before we click, right?
Okay, now we're done for the last question. Roll video.
Hello, I'm Tim De Guzman from Malumad, Dagupan. I would like to know your advice for aspiring media practitioners out there.
My advice is to be responsible with the content that you are creating. The slightest error can probably affect the way people view a certain issue, which is why you must conduct your research well.
And my advice is to always get both sides of the story. In media, there's no room for biases. This is to allow the audience to judge based on the truth and nothing but the truth.
And that ends up our answering the query portion.
Oh, unfortunately, it is now our time to say goodbye to our guests and the viewers. Time really lapses so fast, right? Thank you so much, Mr. Michael Magtam and Mr. Galang, for your time and for sharing the knowledgeable stuffs and information about media literacy. We really learned a lot from you. Thank you.
And that concludes this segment of The More You Know. Once again, we are your hosts, Joshua Mark Natas
And Julian Natividad. Stay informed and stay educated with
The More You Know.